A very good morning to all the students. I, Shruti Sahai, your science teacher, is going to teach you a new chapter today from your science book, that is separation of substances and cleaning of food. So, before going through the chapter, here are some few terms which you should understand before proceeding in this chapter. And these are mixtures. Mixtures are consist of two or more types of particles and component one of several parts of which something is made. If you will consider a mixture of sand and sugar together, then when it is mixed together, it will be considered as mixture, and separately sugar and sand will be considered as the components of mixture. And pure substances consist of only one kind of particle. As you can see that before mixing sugar and sand, when the only particle of sugar were there and the only particle of sands were there, they were not mixed together. They separately will be considered as pure substances. So, as you can see in this image, the child is making a very bad face. Oh no, today again I will have to eat this vegetable only. No junk foods like no chips, no pizza are served to me. Oh no, how I will eat this? And the mama has made vegetable plow for me and I don't like peas at all. So, what the child will do? The child will separate the peas from the plow. Why she will do this? Because she don't like peas at all. We should do that? No, we shouldn't do that, because we know that vegetables are very much important for our health, and it is of very much significance for our body build up. No, we shouldn't do this. But if we are unable to eat, so we will separate it by picking up with hand. So, the need for separation of substances is, we have seen in the previous picture itself, if we don't want certain things, we separate them. As you see in the picture, that the lady is separating impurities out of rice, because the rice contains stones, dust particles, husk, and we can't eat it. So, we have often seen this, that a mother used to separate the impurities before cooking rice. You have often seen that the mother used to clean the rice first, before she will just hand pick all the impurities, and after that she will wash it under the drain and remove the other left impurities. Same way itself, you can see, to obtain the pure substance. For example, if we want to get the pure gold, we have to give it a very high temperature. And for separating sugar, we have already discussed that we can do this by hand picking. So, to obtain the pure substance, we need to separate the substances. Now, to obtain useful components of mixture, what we can do? We can separate its components by fractional distillation. So here we are going to see its step. As you know that petroleum is a fossil fuel. Like coal, petroleum is also a fossil fuel, but it is made in a different way. How it is formed, we are going to see in the further steps. See, in the water body like sea, the different organisms die and they used to settle at the bottom of the sea. Then after some time, sand and clay get covered over it, and after that it is converted into a blackish, sticky and very stinky substance, which is known as crude oil or raw petroleum. That the crude oil or raw petroleum is a complex mixture, and it is a complex mixture of so many useful components, and those components are petroleum, kerosene, diesel, so many useful components we get through it. So to take out the crude oil or the raw petroleum, what we used to do, we used to just take very high power vacuum pumps, and we suck the crude oil of petroleum out of the water body, and then that the raw petroleum or crude oil is taken to the refineries, and by the process of fractional distillation, the important components are separated. As you can see in the picture, that the different components have different boiling points, and on the basis of their boiling points, they are separated. Now you can see that petroleum has the lowest boiling point, so it will evaporate very sooner, and the fuel like diesel, they have very high boiling point, so they will evaporate later. The residue of this phenomena will also give us so many components like wax for candles, for cream, and bitumen is used in the for painting. So all the components have taken from just a one complex mixture, and that is known as crude oil. So other useful components, like we have seen, bitumen is also used for making roads, and paraffin wax is used for making candles, and we can make creams and lubricants, and fuels we get from the same one complex mixture. So many components we can get. Now we have seen that this is the very common example we have seen at our homes, that what are the factors by which we can choose the process of separating the things. Like the size of the particle is an important basis for the separation of substance. For example, you must have seen that the sieve, the छन्नी होती है ना आपके घर में, and the size of its pores is very much little than the size of the tea leaves. And what is the process going on here? The tea leaves are left on the surface of the sieve, and the tea is drained off. After that, substances are also separated on the basis of some property that one component has and the other component does not have. As you can see in the image, here is a mixture of sulfur and iron fillings, and you must be knowing that magnet attracts iron, and when you bring closer the magnet to the mixture of sulfur and iron, what you will observe? You will observe that the iron fillings will be stick to the magnet. In this way we can separate the mixture by using its property, which one component has and the other component does not have. As we have seen in the other example also, that the different components have different boiling points, and through that we have separated different components. Now you can see in this image that the separation method is also dependent on the type of components present in the mixture. As you can see that the impurities has bigger size in this. In the rice, the stones are there and it has big size, so we can simply pick it up and separate it. So the constituents or the components of the mixture, what type of components and constituents are there, on that also the method of separation is dependent. Now here we will just see to one of the method of separating, and that is hand picking. You are able to see the two images. In the first image you can see the mixture of sand and sugar is there. You can easily observe that the sugar particle has bigger size than the sand, and you can easily pick it up and separate it. And in the same way itself, you can see the example of rice and the stones present in it. You can separate it, and through this impurities could be separated. But one thing is there, this process of hand picking can only be used for the if the material is less in amount. If we have to just separate the stones from 30 kgs of rice, that will be too much tiring, no? So this process is used only when the quantity is less and the impurity is of bigger size. Now, hand picking is the practice of separating undesirable solid substances or impurities from useful solids by hand. So by the name itself, you can recognize that hand picking, separating things by picking up with hand. Now, in the last, I would like to give you one activity that you will do at your home. You do one thing, you ask your mother to give you some rice and you spread it on the paper or on a plate. Then, after that, separate the impurities out of it and collect it in a small plastic bag, a very small plastic bag, and or you can just wrap it in the polythene, and you have to keep it separate. Where in the Zoom class I will see that you have done this activity or not. Hope you all will understand what this content and the content easily, and hope you all have understood it. All the best. Thank you for listening.